Okay, I'm George Nyambua, number 5, Kabras. Tukue tukiwatch 3 quarters podcast.
Episode 16, part 1 of the 3 quarters podcast. Today we are shooting from Kakamega Showground. We had come to watch our feature game of the week, Kabras Sugar RFC versus Impala Saracens. And Kabras have been kind enough to let us shoot here. As always, the 3 quarters podcast has been about the game of rugby 15s and improving the state of rugby 15s in Kenya. Therefore, we urge you to jump onto the road to Japan. We urge you to jump onto the road to Japan hashtag to support the Kenya Simbas. They're about to start their World Cup challenge, rather World Cup qualifiers, as they try to earn us a spot at the Rugby World Cup in Japan in 2019. They take on Uganda, then they take on Tunisia, Senegal. They are away to Zimbabwe in Bulawayo, and finally Namibia in Windhoek. These boys need our support, and therefore we urge you guys to jump onto the road to Japan hashtag. This is Nash, your official noisemaker,
Jerry Goose, Kenyana.
And today we are joined by one of the Kenya Simbas and Kabras superstars, Edwin Achayo. Karibu on 3 quarters. Let's start with yesterday's game, Kabras versus Impala. Of course, the result was 29-26 to Impala. And I'll ask you, Achi, first. to Kabras. And I'll ask you, Achi, first. What was your thought about that game?
Ooh, yeah. Game of 2 halves.
Yes.
Yeah, game of 2 halves. I think we had a sentence in the first half.
Yeah.
I actually thought we had it. I mean, from the first half, I could say we are going for a whooping. Like, we're really going to give them a whooping.
Yeah.
Second half, they turned the table on us. Which, judging by Kenagam now, you can hardly make an easy call on any team.
Yes.
Yeah, everyone stepped up.
Yeah.
So it was expected. They had a quality bench. The guys who came in, Kere, another Kenya Simba guy.
Yes.
Those guys actually just
Okoa Ali Okoa.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So they stepped up a notch.
Yeah.
Malaria up on you're thinking, so we were saved by the pena at the last moment.
Yes.
But,
that took you over. Goose, Achia said it was a game of 2 halves. What do you think went right for Kabras in the first half? What do you think went right for Impala in the second half?
In the first half, I think Impala walikuja na baridi kidogo. Yeah.
Maybe
the climate in the kidogo. But then again, you could see they were controlling the scrums.
Yeah.
They could match up with the Kabras vizuri.
Yeah.
But what they lacked was the killer punch. Because every time walikuwa wanafika the 22,
yes,
they get to the 22, someone knocks the ball,
yes,
a forward pass, a loose forward pass.
Yes. Yes.
And then Kabras kick for territory.
Yes.
And it's a try.
Yes.
A try.
Yeah.
So I think that's where Impala went wrong.
Yeah.
And Kabras capitalized on it sana.
Yeah.
Walimaliza sana. Although what? 4 quick tries.
Yes.
It just happened first half for Kabras. So hapo normally I think Impala went wrong.
Yes.
Kabras capitalized on that.
I think as we always say, it's all about the execution. Number 1, you can have all the territory.
Yeah.
But if you don't convert it to points,
True.
Because there were some questionable calls about Impala's play in the first half.
Yeah.
There were so many times they would have gone for touch, and as you're saying, their lineouts were pretty efficient. Simon Muniafumula, the lineout, is a very good lineout jumper. You'd have been able to catch it and then maul it, but then they decided to go for points. They missed
and
the
points.
And the kicking was off.
Out.
They don't have Bokorach.
that leg can cover.
So the kicking was off. So I know, honestly, I agree with you. Actually, it was a game of 2 halves. Kabras came out firing, all guns blazing.
Yeah, we had to.
You had to.
Back of 3 losses.
Actually, on the back of 3 losses.
3 losses, man.
Yeah, you had
pressure was mounting.
Yeah, pressure was mounting.
The pressure was on you guys, and you have to secure the playoff position.
And now you guys, are you confirmed that you're going to be in the playoffs? More or less.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, we're likely still to meet Impala
in the playoffs, exactly. But now you travel to Impala.
Now we have to travel. I really doubt if it's going to be a game of 2 halves.
That will be a game of
full 80.
Full 80. And Goose, give us a quick wrap up of the results Kenya Cup action yesterday.
Kenya Cup
yesterday being 18th
of March. Results. We had Kabras hosting Impala. 29-26 for Kabras. Queens hosted KCB and they lost 26-29. Nakuru hosting the DJs. The DJs chappered them 44-17. Then there was Strathmore versus Mwamba. Strathmore lost to Mwamba 11-5. Western Bulls hosting Blackbird. Blackbird came out on top 22-15. Then finally Nondi's hosting Machine. 39-12 for Nondi's.
Quick question, Archie. Any results that are shocking there?
Not really. Except the Queens KCB game.
Yeah, Queens KCB.
KCB and a little bit of, I think, Nakuru Homeboys. You didn't expect it to be that
the margin, definitely the margin, especially Nakuru being at home.
We've been playing.
But for the Queens one, I was with the Queens guys the past weekend. Pretty confident, about the results. I've spoken to Aizo and Ambunya, and I'm pretty sure they had KCB in the pocket. So I think training camp tomorrow is going to be a bit tough on Aizo and
Ambunya.
I think Darwin is going to have a field day.
Anyway, quick preview of next week's games. We have Sport Pesa Queens. By the way, before we start that, these games were postponed from match day 7 as a result of the unfortunate events that happened during that week. The passing away of Victor Wayodi, and before that Ogeto Gesheo. So the Kenya Rugby Union decided to suspend that week. So these games are being replayed next week being 25th of March 2017. And we have Sport Pesa Queens versus Strathmore at Queens. We have Kabras Sugar RFC versus Western Bulls, which is going to be a Kakamega derby next week. Then we have Top Fry Nakuru versus Mean Machine. In Nakuru, we have Resolution Impala Saracens versus Black Blood at Impala. We have Homeboys versus Nondescripts, which is also some sort of derby because they share the same stadium, which is going to be at Jamhuri Park. And finally, we have our feature game of the week next week, KCB versus Mwamba at the Den. Quick predictions. Queens, Strathmore, Achi?
I'll go for Queens.
Goose?
Queens, of course.
Also with you. Kabras Western Bulls.
That is a target, but definitely I'll go for Kabras.
Goose, who are you calling?
I'll call Kabras.
You also call Kabras. Nakuru versus Mean Machine?
ICG. Because Machine have also been
Machine have stepped up, but I'm thinking,
so they just might.
Nakuru,
but then again, Nakuru at home, they will.
Especially after a loss.
After a loss,
it's gonna be hard for them to 2 in a row, apana.
Itakuwa ni shida. Impala versus Blood?
I spoke to Nyando.
Yes.
Before this game.
Yes.
And Nyando was telling me he hates playing relegation sides. Because he knows it's tough.
It'll be tough,
Yes.
But as much as it is, I think Impala still the quality about playing top tier, so I'll give it to Impala.
Impala. Are you going to call it Impala also? I'm also calling Impala. Homeboys versus Nondis?
That's gonna be Homeboys.
DJs.
Oh, DJs,
They'll mix those guys, yes.
And KCB versus Mwamba, one.
Now that's a tough one.
Yes, one wanting to confirm a home spot.
With Mwamba having their top guys back, I think they really want to
be a good match.
And they're looking for playoff.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good match.
Position it as well.
I wouldn't put money on it.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's hard to call.
It's hard to call.
Yeah, but going on form, I think I'm tempted to go with KCB. Yeah, but Mwamba the dark horses in this one. So
yeah, that's true. I also feel that based on form, I'm calling KCB. But anyway, we don't know how it's going to pan out. Then, of course, next week being the last weekend in the regular season of Kenya Cup, I want you to call your top 6 and how it's going to play off in the playoffs. Ghost, start with you.
Top 6? Yeah. I'll go definitely the usual guys who have been leading throughout. Queens, KCB, Homeboys. Kabras, of course, defending champions. Then you have losing Impala there.
Yeah.
Now Mwamba Nakuru.
Yes.
They are a bit 50-50. Either of them.
Either of them. Achi.
I agree with him, man.
Yes.
The more I think this game is huge for Mwamba. That's why in the predictions it's a bit hard to call because Mwamba know it's all or nothing.
Yes.
If they do this right, they're in.
Yes.
Yeah. So. I mean, Queens have had a good one, so it's just Queens, Impala, the usual suspects.
The usual suspects. The usual suspects.
Mwamba have to really crack this one up.
Okay. I'll actually go a step further and see how I think they're going to pan out in the table. I think Homeboys is going to be number 1. KCB are going to be 2nd. Queens are going to be 3rd. Impala 4th. Kabras 5th. And because Mwamba coming up against KCB, which is very tough, and Nakuru have an easy fixture versus Machine. I'll actually call Nakuru to wrap up the top 6 of the playoffs. I think Mwamba they didn't do too well in the beginning of the season.
They didn't start off well.
Exactly, and that's what's costing them. Very well, man. That has been episode 16, part 1 of the 3 Quarters podcast. As always, we ask you guys to like our Facebook page, to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on Instagram. This has been Ash, your official noisemaker.
Jerry and Goose, Kenyana.
Joined by a special guest, Kenya 15's Scrum Half and Kabras Kamraf, Edwin Achayo. Shukran. Tukutane part 2 bana. Sasa.